7 on World Crypto Network. Today we are with Nick Cote from Horizon, the Horizon Business Manager. Hi, Nick.
Hey there, how's it going?
Pretty good, thanks. So just tell us in a few sentences, what is Horizon?
Well, Horizon's a new platform. We've actually been around for a year. It's a decentralized asset exchange where people can go ahead and create their own assets on top of the Horizon network.
Okay, great. Well, I can create assets on Mastercoin, Counterparty, Clearinghouse, Doge Party, NXT. Why do I need Horizon?
Well, Horizon right now is developing a new toolkit, much like Ethereum's and BitShares, that'll allow users to create more advanced assets than what's currently available. For
Okay.
example, we already have a feature where asset issuers can automatically pay out dividends to their users rather than having to manually go through it. Our goal is to have everything automized as much as possible.
Okay, so it's going to be more comfortable and more
User friendly.
automatic,
Yeah.
more user friendly. Okay, great. And how much does it cost to issue an asset?
Right now it's about 1,000 Horizon, so it's pretty cheap, a couple cents.
Okay, great. Okay, and I think right at the moment there is a decentral asset exchange that's live. Is that correct? So I can go there, I can make, a Theo coin or transmission coin, and it can already be up on the decentral asset exchange.
That's correct. And we've already provided videos on how to do that, and I'll provide a link to you and your users at the end of this broadcast.
Okay, great. So there's also some other things going on with Horizon that are pretty intriguing. I want you to talk about the reputation and trust system that is on the main website, because I think that's something that a lot of people think is needed in crypto in general, with a lot of scams and people getting their funds stolen, etc. So
Mm-hmm.
tell us how this is going to work and what the idea behind it is.
Well, the idea is to provide as much trust and transparency as possible. Obviously, the blockchain provides a public ledger system, and that handles the technology part. What the blockchain doesn't cover is the identity and trust of the users on top of it. So our trust system is going to be broken into two parts. The first part being the trust and reputation system that will be provided on the asset exchange. So when you issue an asset or a user is searching for an asset, they'll be able to click the asset, look at who's issued that asset, and a little biography will pop up and a trust score, and based on their network activity and their progress on the asset, people will be able to upvote or downvote and provide an insight into that person who's issued it and give them a trust score based on those. The second part to it is providing a trust and reputation not just to the asset issuers and the people on the network, but also the underlying technology. So for example, to secure the node network, think of as an analogy your human body. When there's an invasion of bad cells, it releases white blood cells, and those white blood cells create antibodies. So essentially what we're trying to do is create an immune system for networks. So if you have a node that's acting poorly or not doing as it should, it will not receive as many trust points in a certain amount of time. If it doesn't receive that amount of trust points in, say, a 24-hour period, it would then be automatically blocked out from the network and prevent it from acting maliciously and infecting anything else on the network.
Okay, well that sounds fair enough. We'll just go back to the upvotes. So couldn't I just game the upvote system? I could just pay people a few Horizon to give me upvotes, and then it looks like I have a really good reputation.
The upvotes is just one proposal that we're looking at right now. Obviously, we're developing a trust system. There's a lot of debates and thought that has to go into it, exactly how it'll be deployed and how it'll work. We're trying to automate it as much as possible, so not just with the user upvotes, but also with your activity on the network. If you yourself have been behaving properly and not trying to do anything malicious onto the network itself.
And who decides what is, quote, malicious behavior? I mean, could you give us an example? And is there some kind of central authority that says, hey, that we deem that as malicious behavior, you're getting some negative points? Or is that hard-coded? How does that work?
Ideally, we're going to want everything hard-coded using math, much like how the blockchain is automated. That's the goal of everything behind Horizon, is to provide a user-friendly experience and have it automated. At the start, I would imagine there will be a central authority, probably one of our developers, for example, whose identities are all public, that'll have oversight on everything while we work out the bugs and move everything to just a math-based system.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I think that's really interesting that people are trying to develop reputation and trust systems on a decentral basis. And I think that's going to be something we're going to have to deal with ongoing in the future. On another topic, side chains. So you have also people that are really into Bitcoin, and the question is, will side chains make altcoins and alternative blockchains obsolete? And that kind of ties into what Brian Armstrong, I think he's a CEO of Coinbase, was saying on Twitter, and he got in a little bit of a debate with some people. He says, quote, Ripple, Stellar, and altcoins are all a distraction. Bitcoin is way too far ahead. We should be focused on Bitcoin and side chains. So what do you think of that, and how does Horizon fit into all this discussion?
Well, one thing about Bitcoin is that currently it only provides one system, or only acts for one purpose, and that's digital money transfer and storage. With altcoins, it's kind of like it's a breeding ground, it's a test ground to develop new technologies. Blockchain is such a young and new innovative technology that we don't really know what else it can be applied to. Not everything can be developed on the Bitcoin core, and by having altcoins, for example, you're able to test new technologies and the flexibility of blockchain. I don't think altcoins are going to be going anywhere anytime soon.
Well, couldn't I do some of these things on the Bitcoin chain? I mean, we've got Mastercoin and Counterparty on the Bitcoin blockchain. I can do assets, and I can do a basic asset exchange, I believe, on both of them. I can also do a type of reputation system, although I don't think anyone has developed a nice interface for it.
Yeah,
I, you know,
you could do those things on the Bitcoin blockchain, but I think you're going to get a lot of difference of opinions on what people, if they think Bitcoin is going to be the system to prevail in the end, or it'll just end up being another altcoin. Like who's to say that Bitcoin is going to be the final product that breaks through the mainstream? Right now, yeah, it does have a huge lead on everything, especially with the investment coming in. But I think not all developers, and you see that a lot of debate between that on their development. They don't want to just stick to one thing. They want to be able to go out there, create their own technologies, and test their own ideas, and put it out there and see what the public thinks.
okay, fair enough. So, what mining algorithm does Horizon use, and why was it chosen?
You can't actually mine Horizon. Like originally, a Genesis block was created, which already had everything, all the coins mined there, which is a billion total supply. Uh, right now, we're approaching 50% distribution, around 500 million, and we've been going on distribution for just coming along on a year right now, and that'll proceed for another 5 to 6 months. The way it works on how people get more coins is if you purchase some Horizon and deposit that into your wallet. After 24 hours or 1,440 blocks, we have a node stakeholder script that will then detect your coins in your wallet and pay you out a daily interest, which is calculated in dividend, which is a total of 10% per year on your holdings.
Okay, so how were the Horizon coins distributed after the Genesis block? I mean, is this just like a big pre-mine and then, kind of given out, or how did that work?
So the main thing, the original Genesis block was created with 1 billion coins, and then we formed a partnership with Poloniex, who have been holding all the coins that are undistributed in an escrow account, which you can view on our Explorer there. The main sources of distribution for Horizon have been our node bounty systems. So users can set up a node, and after 24 hours of active uptime, and when you create a node, you need to keep your node active for our script to detect that, you are paid out amount of Horizon. The current formula being that 1 million Horizon are minted each day and paid out divided by the number of active nodes. So if you have
Okay,
an increase in nodes on the network, you'd be receiving a smaller amount, and vice versa. If there's a smaller amount of nodes in that 24-hour period, you receive a larger stake. And that's been the primary source of distribution, as well as work bounties and social media giveaways.
Okay, so there was a billion made in the Genesis block, and there's about a million made a day, minted
Yeah,
a day with staking. Is there a is Horizon a hard cap currency or a hard cap coin, or is it
yeah,
a unlit? Yes.
it,
Okay. What is?
it's hard capped at a billion.
Okay, got it. Okay, good. And I also see there's some other features you guys are working on. Encrypted messaging. Is that already active?
Yeah, encrypted messaging is active. There's also a video on it. When you're creating a transaction, there's a little message box there where you just click add message, and then there's an option for the encrypted messages where it's just as simple as clicking the box. And then once you see the transaction in the recent transactions block, you just click on the date and you can view the message there. And the public messages are also broadcasted onto the Explorer.
Okay, great. So the encrypted messages are broadcast on
The,
the
the encrypted
blockchain, or?
messages, no, they're sent through the blockchain. Only the public messages are broadcasted on the Explorer. If it's an encrypted message, it's not broadcast to everyone. It's just kept private between the sender and the recipient.
Okay, great. So hold on, I've got a few questions from Reddit and Twitter. Let's see here.
Sure.
All right, we've got, yeah, okay, one person, crypto marketing at crypto traders on Twitter asks, when do you expect Horizon to surpass NXT in market cap? I mean,
That's, it's not a short order. I think you'll see a lot of development, especially with our unannounced projects and smart assets and service-backed assets, and our ramp up of development here. It's not unfeasible to say in the next 4 or 5 months you'll see a large increase in Horizon's market cap as we announce our partnerships, distribute our releases, our smart assets, our service-backed assets, and continue growing our user base and our promotion throughout both the crypto sphere and branching into the mainstream media. I think that's one thing that altcoin projects in general, even with Bitcoin, that has a problem with breaking out of just the crypto sphere. Everyone in the crypto sphere knows how great this technology is. It's a matter of finding the niche markets and users who are going to be using it outside. You need to get people involved who are not yet involved, and providing education behind all this technology is also a very important step. And I feel that a lot of projects lack that.
Okay, so how is Horizon trying to appeal to the mainstream or pop culture?
Well, with this, the biggest thing right now is appealing with everyone is taking an everyday routine. You want to take technology that people are already familiar with or their daily routine, and you want to be able to show them that cryptocurrency can not only be used in their daily routine, but it can also simplify and make it more secure and more trusted. Unfortunately, I can't get into those assets right now, but we'll be making public announcements pretty soon, which
Okay,
will
great.
better detail what I'm trying to say
We've
about
also got
that.
a, okay, and also viewers, you can also ask a question via Google Hangouts, and we have one right now from Dan Gold. Thank you. What feature can altcoins offer that is impossible for Bitcoin to adapt? So, well, I think that it's theoretically possible for Bitcoin to adapt a lot of features, but it's very unlikely. Would you agree?
I would agree, and like you said with sidechains, it's all about who wants to take the time and energy to actually develop. It's not to say Bitcoin can't go ahead and take all these. But you need to find the development teams. You got to find the funding for all this. If something already exists, such as the asset exchanges, which are provided on a lot of different products, why would someone else go ahead and develop it from scratch when there's already products available?
Yeah, okay, that's true. Okay, so I've got a question. What is the relationship between Horizon and something called BlockNet? And could you briefly explain what BlockNet is?
Yeah, sure. Well, BlockNet is comparable to SuperNet. It's the idea of bringing individual networks or altcoins together and linking them together via the X-Bridge. This feature will enable, say, a Horizon user to use the features of X currency or utility coin or fiber coin from without having to download that other network's wallet features. It'll also strengthen the networks as well. And the goal with BlockNet is to also provide a decentralized exchange and smart contracts, which then all the networks who are connected to the BlockNet chain via the X-Bridge will have access to as well.
Okay, great. So basically, you're linking these blockchains together, and one of them has different features than the other, so I can use all the features without having to jump over to different blockchains. Is that right?
That's right, and I want to emphasize that each coin or project will maintain their individual networks. They're not being melded into one, but they'll just have communication via API links between one another.
Why don't we just link all altcoins or a bunch of them?
I think
Can
that's Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's the idea. That's the goal, is creating a unified product for the end user, right? I know a lot of people, the privacy is a big thing for them, or they don't want to be linked into a network or a group. But I think in order for alts or cryptocurrency to succeed and expand, we need to get all the developers on board, contributing to these platforms. And at the end of the day, it's going to create better solutions and better products and cleaner UIs for the end user. So it's going to be easier to push this out into mainstream and see real adoption.
hmm So how does a coin join BlockNet? Or if I have what if I have an asset on Doge Party or some or NXT? Can I join BlockNet too?
Yeah, well, a great thing that we're working on with Horizon, for example, if you have an asset on NXT or BitShares, is that we're developing our own multi-gateway right now, which will initially be linked into BitShares, NXT, and Ripple, and also all the their forks of the coins also. So you'll be able to trade through Horizon all those other assets as well and those coins. If a coin is looking to get involved with BlockNet, they can contact myself or Dan Metcalf, or go on to the BlockNet website and a form which we'll provide at the end of the segment as well.
Okay, well, that
Basically,
sounds
what we're looking for is just active development, an active community, and good developers who share the same passion and vision for cryptocurrency.
okay, great. All right, so you mentioned that there is a Horizon faucet. How do I get there?
Sure, you would just log on to the Horizon website, which is horizonplatform.io. At the top of the screen there, you'll see a link to the faucet. You would just click the faucet link. I've also provided a video there. I don't know if users can just link this to you in this chat here.
Yeah, so in the everyone watching in the description, I have linked to the Horizon Twitter, and there you can also find the link to horizonplatform.io. And I will also just include a hard link after the show is finished to the website. And I believe on the website are these videos, these tutorials, right?
Yeah, right now, in a couple hours, we're actually going to be launching a completely new website, and it'll have all these links and features that we've been talking about. And I'll provide you a link to the compiled version of all the videos and information. So when
Mhm.
you first come on to Horizon, you're going to need a public key to fund your wallet, and that's provided right there when you open your client. So then you would then go to the faucet here, just input your Horizon ID and the public key. Click the "I'm not a robot" message there, and then just request some funds. That'll then send out a payment to Horizon to your account, at which time your public key will be recognized and your account will be secured, and then you can send transactions back and forth to the exchanges, and also set up your assets, your aliases, and start using all the other features.
Okay, great. So I want to go back again to where you said you're linking, what was it, Ripple, BitShares,
And NXT.
and NXT in a kind of multi-gateway.
Yep.
So is this going to be on a kind of decentral exchange, or how is that going to work? And so BitShares, you mean so BitShares X and all of the assets on there as well would be able to be traded between Horizon and, or I could do it. I could go from BitOil to Horizon to Ripple, or is that correct?
Well, Horizon would act as the intermediate, so you would have to trade the BitShares to Horizon, and then you could buy the Ripple stuff through that. So it just acts as a third-party gateway. NXT runs their multi-gateway through a website. We won't be doing that. We're going to be incorporating it straight into our platform. We're just currently working on the Bitcoin multi-sig wallets, and I'll also provide a description link to how that will work for you.
Okay, so basically, there's no counterparty risk. It's not centralized, or is it? This multi-gateway.
No, it's not. It's not centralized.
Okay, well that sounds really interesting. I'm really curious to see how that's going to work out. It's great.
I'm just grabbing a link for you. I guess you can provide it at the end here.
Yeah, I'll include all the links at the end, all the additional links, and I'm going to check if there are any more questions on Twitter. Nothing on Twitter. I think Reddit, we answered all the questions for Reddit. Let's head over to Whale Club TeamSpeak. I don't
Always
see
good
any
content there.
questions. Okay. And so I want to thank everyone for watching today, and I want to remind you to thumbs up the video, please, and subscribe to World Crypto Network. Check out the videos from Bitcoin Rush, This Week in Bitcoin, Bitcoin Group, Mad Coins, and all the other shows on World Crypto Network. If I want to check out Horizon, I've got to go to horizonplatform.io, correct?
Yep, and I'd also like to announce that we'll be putting out a couple exciting press releases here in the next 24 or 48 hours, starting today, that I'm sure will stir a lot of feathers, and we're really looking forward to getting all this stuff out there and sharing it with you and getting our community feedback. Like, the goal here is to build a platform based on the community's feedback.
Okay, sounds great. Well, thanks for coming on today,
Thanks a lot
and
for having me.
thanks everyone for watching.